Okay, we are live. Hello, everyone. So glad to be here. We did this last week, and I am back this week with another dear friend of mine. And a couple things. If you've been following me at all for any length of time, you know how passionate I am about holistic health and truth and education in the world of holistic health, and also the world of network marketing and kind of debunking all of the myths around network marketing. And my family has benefited significantly from this industry. And I also have brought my friend Lara. I'm pointing over here, but you're really over here. I brought my friend Lara in, and actually just a little bit of our story. Lara was the first person to actually introduce me to the world of network marketing. I joined her in another business about 5 years ago, and quite honestly, all of my positive experiences with this industry have been because of Lara. And so we are now with a different company, with MIG Living, helping to pioneer this company literally from ground floor, basement floor. And it's really been fun for our journeys to kind of be side by side so much. So anyway, Lara, I would love for you to just share a little bit about yourself. What did you do before network marketing? And then why did you consider network marketing? And what has this kind of done for your family?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thanks for bringing me on here. This is so fun. Okay, so as Jody said, my name's Lara. I have a husband and 2 little kids, almost 3. I'm very pregnant. You can't see right now, but very, very pregnant. Hopefully any time now. We live out in the country, middle of nowhere. I'm originally from Columbus, so total shift for us. This is where my husband's from. We love it. I have a background in the business side of healthcare. So that's what I went to school for. That was what I was super into. I ended up getting a master's degree in public health after that, kind of wanting to go towards the wellness world. And my career didn't really lead me in that direction. I stuck with the business side. Loved it. I still love it. I worked in it part-time up until last year. When COVID hit and they laid off all of their contracted employees. I had a part-time consulting gig that I totally loved for a couple years once my kids got a little older. But anyways, so my whole entry into the direct sales world, I was working for the OSU Medical Center, job that I loved. I had just gotten promoted, just finished my master's degree, found out I was pregnant with our first child, not planned. And my husband was also in the medical field, actual clinical medical field. So he worked a second shift job most of the time, worked those hours. And then I was on normal business hours. We had our son, very much so dependent on both of our incomes. We had just bought a house also. And we very quickly were like, this is hard. We feel like full-time single parents. I'd come home from work and we'd do a switch off and he would leave and he would come home and go to sleep and I would get up and go to work. And it was just like that on repeat. We never saw each other. And again, we did not want to both feel like full-time single parents. So we decided, we prayed a lot, talked a lot, crunched numbers a lot. And we're like, okay, we cannot afford at all for you to stay home. But, you just got promoted, you just finished your master's degree, you have a good work experience, you got to be able to find something part-time. So we had some money in savings and I went ahead and quit my job, pretty blindly quit my job, and very quickly realized that anything part-time in my field was not hardly worth the cost of childcare. So everything being super entry level, all of that, I felt really stuck, got a little nervous, had someone reach out to me about the company that Jody and I were previously with, did some research into it, and kind of out of desperation, jumped on board and was like, oh, I'll give it a try. We'll see how it goes. And I very quickly kind of fell in love with the industry for the sake of working from home and making money from home and being on my own schedule. I didn't have to leave my little boy. I was spending time with my husband, and watching paychecks grow month to month. I loved the products. I loved the flexibility of it. I was super reluctant about getting involved with it, though. I feel like there are a lot of stigmas behind direct sales, which a lot of that is very valid, as we all know. But had a really good experience for the first short while. And then as I kind of geared up, started growing a bigger team, moved up in leadership, and started being part of planning trainings and all of that. It was awesome. However, I also feel like I was exposed to a lot of things that just didn't sit well with my soul. Like a lot of those things that we talk about, feeling kind of gross when you think of direct sales, that it kind of knocked the wind out of my sails. And I was like, you know what? There's dishonesty here, some lack of integrity here, like knowing people were flat out lying about things to make it look like things were better than they were. I didn't like it, didn't jive with me. And I felt like, you know what? I can't promote this. I can't continue to bring people into this with the culture being that way. And the company itself was not a bad company at all. Not at all. It was just the culture of the team. And along with that, kind of simultaneously, the products that we were using, that they work amazingly. I mean, they worked awesome, but I developed a lot of health issues, and really started doing a deep dive into what I was putting on my skin, in my body, all of that. And then I myself was like, I don't want to use this product anymore. I don't want to use this product anymore, but I'm promoting them. So I had all of these kind of internal battles going on. Yeah. And that's kind of how I ended my stretch with our previous company.
So good. I had to mute myself because my family's about to run in, so it's going to get really loud here in a second. Yes. Oh my gosh. And I feel like I have watched you through all these years of like, I see this as a legitimate stream of income, and this is helping keep my family's head above water. It was the same for me. And I need this to work. Like I need to keep developing this stream of income, but I also want to be able to stand fully behind products or a company's culture with all of my reputation, because I care about what I'm offering to people in my network and in my community, and I care about seeing lives change. Can you just share with me a little bit, what was it like for you to even think about switching companies to still see just the potential for the industry, but truly having to start over brand new in a completely different company? What was that like for you? And share more about that. What set MIG apart for you?
Okay, yeah. So I actually struggled with a lot of fear of, okay, what will people think? Well, I look shady, like, leaving this company that I've been so gung-ho about for so many years. I mean, I was with them for 5 years, and I genuinely loved the company. Like I said, genuinely loved the products, but it got to a point where that was not the case. So I had to do a lot of internal work, which you were totally with me through every step of that, as you know, and just think about what is true here. So when you first told me about MIG, Jody introduced me to MIG. It's funny because she came into our last company with me, and then I followed her into MIG. But at first I was like, oh gosh, another direct sales company. I don't think I have it in me. And she started talking about how they were truly different, and why they were different. And Jamie Cross, our founder, how she has a heart to completely change the industry and move it back to a place of integrity and a place of servant leadership, as opposed to, how can I hit all these sales and hit all these numbers and make all this money? Like, how can we serve other people? And in that, we know we will be blessed, right? So when Jody started talking about that a little bit, I started doing the research, watching some Jamie Cross videos, really kind of digging into what it would look like to be a part of the company. And then I had the opportunity to meet her. When was that? So this was probably 6 months before we launched into direct sales in Indianapolis. I went to an event, met Jamie Cross, got to sit down and have dinner with her among several other amazing people, and just hear her heart and what the company stood for, and how she, most direct sales companies are started by people with millions and millions of dollars who are on their private jet and think, okay, how can we make millions more dollars? Where is there a gap in in our society of like, you know, like makeup or, you know, skincare, whatever, like where can we jump in here and build a company and make more money? Like this was a company Jamie started from the ground up. Her heart and soul was in it. She, is a genius. And then, so on top of meeting her and really trusting her, knowing, okay, so holistic self-care is the number one growing industry in the nation. We know that. Like, I feel like everyone's looking into now kind of what they're eating, what they're using on their skin, knowing it was a good business opportunity, like thinking this is a growing industry. We have a company here that is already a multi-million-dollar company, tens of thousands of 5-star reviews. I got to use some of the products before we even launched, knowing that they work and they're changing lives, and then meeting the people who were part of this. I mean, all of these factors played into it where I'm like, okay, it's a great business decision. I think that long-term, this is going to be a wildly successful company. They're already wildly successful and they're just getting started. Their product line is continually growing. And then just, all of those factors combined, I just sat there and thought, I cannot say no to this. And meeting the leaders of the company beyond Jamie Cross, I told my husband, I was like, you know what? If I make $0 doing this right now, I want to do it. I want to be with these people. I want to help build this. I want these people to be my community. Because at that time I was working my part-time consulting job. And so finances were not, my number one driver. And since then, like I said, I did get laid off because of COVID. And now I'm so grateful to have this income because we've set up our lives to rely on me for income, which is great. I like to work. I like to do all that. But I also now really like to have my own schedule and not have to clock in and not have a boss and be with my kids. Like today, for example, I had an OB appointment, got to bake brownies with my daughter. I got to do work in between here and there. And I feel like I do get to own my time, which that's the most important thing to me right now is just the time freedom aspect, which you need money to have time freedom, unfortunately. So.
Oh my gosh, you are so right. And I feel like one of the things I've learned being in this industry is that this isn't like a get rich quick scheme. I think people somehow have this perception like, oh, I'll join this and I'll just, start making a ton of money. It's like, no, you are still working. We work very hard. I don't think I've ever worked this hard in my life for anything. I believe in it so strongly, but the beauty of the industry and what it allows us to have is our choice. I don't answer to a boss. I don't exchange my time for money. I literally am in charge of my own schedule. I get to choose when I spend time with my children, what I get to go to, how I spend this time. And it doesn't mean I'm sitting back. I'm certainly not sitting back eating potato chips. I am working my butt off, but I choose when I do it. And I don't have another person telling me, this is what you have to show up for, or this is what you have to do. So I think like one of the things that our founder, Jamie, says all the time is you have to choose your hard. It's hard to go to a 40-hour-a-week job and be accountable to a boss who's basically in charge of your life and your schedule, sometimes at the sacrifice of your family. It's also hard not to have a lot of money and not to have a lot of margin, to have a lot of choice. It's hard to be an entrepreneur and pioneer with a company from the very beginning. But the freedom and flexibility that we now have and the potential long-term crazy financial significance that we're going to be stepping into, like, it's hard, but we get to choose what that hard is. And I just think that's something that's such a misconception, but that people don't realize. Like, all of this is hard, but like you have to choose your own hard. It was really hard when we couldn't pay our bills, And so I had to choose, am I going to work hard at this? Am I going to step into this? So I think that is really, really amazing. Okay. I want you to share your story with the collagen.
Oh, okay.
That's a question that I told you I was going to ask, but this story to me was one of the most incredible, because we didn't realize what it was going to do for you. And all of a sudden
I know. It's crazy because collagen, like I started taking our collagen thinking, okay, I can't use traditional anti-aging stuff because everything makes me break out. I want to use collagen to help with wrinkles, to help with joint pain. I have really bad knees just genetically. So I've had knee pain forever. Not horrible, but I mean, if I try to jog or something, it would hurt and ache and just be uncomfortable. So anyways, I have a forever history of horrible cystic acne since high school, college. I've gone through phases with it. I have PCOS, so all sorts of hormonal issues that cause me to have cystic acne. And I found some products that work on and off. They work sometimes they don't. They're all super chemically and really bad for you. And it's funny because I have a hormonal disorder that causes cystic acne, and then I'm putting chemicals on my skin that screw with my hormones to fix it. So it's a vicious cycle, but I mean, it's miserable. Any of you who have had cystic acne or bad acne know it is awful. You don't want to walk around with that on your face. It's not pleasant. So anyways, I have tried natural products and they didn't really work. I tried just the MIG skincare line and my skin went nuts. Went back to my chemicals. When MIG launched their collagen, I started on the collagen, and within a week, I kid you not, and like Jody watched this, I feel like it's almost unbelievable. Like within a week, I stopped. Like the cystic acne stopped altogether. And again, I had started going back to the chemicals and was kind of like mishmashing, trying to use as little as possible while still using some of the natural stuff and using the chemicals like once a day as opposed to twice a day, whatever. So I did not change what I was doing with my facial topical routine, okay? I just added in the collagen, and within a week, stopped. No more cystic breakouts, like done. My skin was like glowy for the first time in my entire life because everything that I put on it would just strip away all the natural oils, make it just not look awesome. So the collagen did it. And I was able to then, after starting the collagen, slowly transition to natural products on my face, which was just absolutely amazing. So there have been other people since then who have done the same thing as me, like started on the collagen and then slowly transitioned to the natural topical products and also had their cystic acne totally go away. And I don't 100% understand the, what's the word? Like the science behind why that happened. I know that collagen decreases inflammation. I know that there is a vitamin and mineral complex in it that helps your body produce its own collagen. So maybe your body producing its natural collagen really helps with that. But it's life-changing and it's all natural and it's good for you. And I can take it while I'm pregnant and not worry it's going to screw with my baby. And yeah, it's amazing. I will never live without it.
Well, I didn't order mine in time this month, so I'm going to have to live without it for 3 days while we go on vacation. And I'm so mad at myself. Yeah, it really is incredible. I have always said if I was forced to only use one product for the rest of my life, I would choose this collagen hands down. It is amazing. And I realize that there's a collagen on every street corner. Every company has a collagen and everybody's got like the latest and greatest. But I love that ours has been radio tagged and it remains a complete collagen all the way into the human cell, which makes a difference. And I'm not a scientist. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a, chemist. I don't understand all of this from an academic standpoint, but I take the stuff and I'll never stop taking it. So
yes,
definitely can't question the personal testimonies. Okay, my last question for you is, what kind of dreams have you and Devin is Lara's husband, what kind of dreams have you guys been able to talk about and even think through as a result of developing this income producing stream? Yeah, I'd love for you to share some of that with us.
Okay, I think this is my favorite question because it's just crazy. Anyways, so we moved out to the country 5 years ago, a little over 5 years ago, intended on building a house. We bought some land. We were living in this old farmhouse that Devin had previously owned, that we kept as a rental from before, and we moved into it, and it was just a disaster, and we did stuff to fix it up. But anyway, still definitely not long-term home. Plan to build. We ended up my husband invested some money in a business, and we ended up not building our house right then. And then we were kind of stuck. Like, what are we going to do here? We are growing our family. We need to either add on, build, do something. And we ended up being in a position to buy like our dream house this past year. There's no possible way. There's zero chance that we would have been able to buy this house if it weren't for my income. Like, zero possible way. And it is just every single day I wake up here and I thank Jesus for our house, and I'm so happy that we were able to do it. So we were able to buy this house. We were able to keep our old house as a rental property. It has allowed so much flexibility in our lives. Like, we say that, now we couldn't live just on my husband's income, but that's our trip to Disney World. That's our dream house, being able to do any of the extras, while we still have the flexibility that we want. So it really is just such a blessing to know, like, wow, these are dreams that I've had for forever. Like, you've heard me talk about building a house for years and years. And we found this house, like, kind of when we were at the pivotal point of decision has to be made. We have to build, we have to add on. Like, we have one bathroom, our house is really small, we're growing out of it. And we found this and we're able to buy it. So anyways, that's my favorite question because of the joy that this house brings me every single day.
And it is beautiful. Yeah, that same thing happened for us actually with when I first entered the world of network marketing. For the first time, we realized, we have some more choice in this than we did before. We did not have choice in this before. And we're able to move into where we're living now. And it's been a haven for people. We have had so many people in our home that we have cared for and loved on. And, again, it's 4 walls. It's like at the end of the day, a place where people are cared for is more about the people than the actual physical space. But it has made a really big difference. The church we planted actually kind of started meeting out of this home before we lived here. But there's just so much about this place, and we would have never been able to do this without the flexibility financially. So thank you so much, Lara. I appreciate you guys tuning in and watching this. I'm so passionate about network marketing and just the options that it opens up for so many people. And so if you are someone who has been kind of following this journey and has been curious about learning more, I just want you to really think through what type of vehicle are you taking advantage of to give yourselves more flexibility and freedom. And I think, if there is anything that the past 2 years have taught us, it's that nothing is certain. You cannot be certain that your job is forever. You cannot be certain that your education or the path that you've been on and traditional, I graduate from college and then I do this for 40 years and then none of that is certain. Absolutely none of it is certain. And so I think more than ever, especially with so much commerce moving online, it is important to think through what type of income streams are we bringing in to, help give our family options. And so, and we, Lara and I are watching MIG give people options in retirement. We're watching people, give people options alongside their careers and what they're pursuing, allowing people, like Lara and I to even think about things for the future that we didn't have. We haven't been able to think about until we were developing this income stream. So if this is something that you are curious about, we would love to chat. This is not an opportunity that's for everybody, and pioneering is not for the faint of heart. However, this is a really unique company. We are seeing a lot of lives changed. We are seeing a lot of dreams kind of awakened for the first time in people's hearts. I'm one of them, and we would love just simply the opportunity to share more with you, to see if this could be a vehicle that you would want to step into and take advantage of to give more choice to yourself, to your family, to the people in your network. So thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, Lara. You know, I just love and adore you to the moon and back. And you're one of my absolute favorite reasons for being in this industry. And I'm so
grateful. I love you. I feel the same way. Thank you for asking me to come on. This was fun.
Yes. Well, love you so much. Thanks for sharing your story. And I'll be back next week with another friend.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.